I know. Two Yugo videos back to back. Is this glaze? And the answer is that it definitely is glaze. This is one of the best characters Blue Lock Arcane Shiro has produced in front of my eyes. And I've been watching this chapter, or no, sorry, I've been watching this manga since 2 years ago, bro. And like I was here from chapter 1 to here. And this is definitely one of the best characters Arcane Shiro has produced. And you know what? I was thinking to myself just the other day, I'm like, you guys showed so much love to the Hugo character analysis vid and showing why he's one of the best antagonists, or the best antagonist, I should say. I was like, you know what? I want to do another Hugo video, and this time I want it to be related towards scaling. And I was like, I wonder who I could put Hugo against that people would be interested in. And I said, why stop at one? Let's just put him up against every single new Gen 11, right? And if you guys do just want a straightforward answer of which one I think does win, I will be very, very transparent with you. Come on. You guys think I'm gonna spoil y'all? I'm not gonna spoil you, but I do think that this will be an interesting video for anybody that is intrigued in his actual scaling and where he does get to, and how the other new Gen 11 should be interpreted. So basically, before I even get into it, I would like if you guys could like, comment, subscribe. That would be great. And you know, let's get right into it, starting with Lorenzo, right? Now, Lorenzo is a CB, or more of a defensive midfielder, honestly. He's pretty impressive, and on a world-class setting is pretty reliable due to his two-kind-of-sided weapon of the Death Mark and his zombie dribbling, which proved useful against Bastard Munchin, and is pretty impressive. Only issue is that Lorenzo is pretty ass, right? And again, I said I was going to be completely transparent with you guys this video. If I'm being honest, Lorenzo does not have the best scaling to his name. And let's not play dumb. Look at the screen. Editor me, show Hiyori frying his shit. Editor me, now show Isagi frying his shit. So as we can see, even if we want to deem this as Lorenzo not trying, which I mean, I think it's perfectly fine if you want to do that. The fact that Lorenzo not trying against, like, regardless, players that haven't really been deemed as, like, new Gen 11 threats. I think Isagi, perfectly fine if you want to deem as a new Gen 11 threat. Yuri, I think him coming onto the pitch and just destroying, like, Lorenzo in general is kind of crazy. But again, if everybody has seen my Lorenzo video from the past, I have argued for him in his defense that I do think that his on-the-ball defense is insanely worse than his off-the-ball defense, but his defensive presence alone is still pretty impressive. He's able to block the Kaiser impact and lock Kaiser down pre-awakening, but of course after his awakening he's probably not messing with Kaiser. And honestly, why I think that Lorenzo just doesn't have any chance of beating Hugo is just off the fact that he is able to completely shut down a stronger Isagi, like, and I'm talking specifically for defense before I even get into the full gist of it. But defensively, he's capable of shutting down a way stronger Isagi than both Kaiser and Isagi in the NEO, and completely shuts him down and shits on his weapon in general, right? And that's just impressive in its own. And then in his offensive capability, he has not just once but twice destroyed Japan by himself, essentially, right? And through his plans. And especially after the recent chapter leaks in the recent chapter, he did this again, same level as like Kaiser, Lorenzo, Sai, and all of them, by not breaking a sweat. So he's not even fully intrigued in the game. He's not even sweating. He's not focused. It's just that simple. So I think Lorenzo just doesn't get further than him. I don't think he's more versatile, nor do I think he plays on the same level Hugo does and performs the same way. That's just what I think, right? So next on the list, we will actually be talking about Kaiser. Kaiser, just like I said before, is pretty interesting above Lorenzo. We will be talking about post-awakening Kaiser due to the fact that that's just his strongest version. But I do think that Kaiser also kind of gets clipped a little bit just off the fact that these are better versions of these players, and on the fact that Hugo is capable of shutting something down like two-gun volley and being able to assess the field on a higher level than even somebody like Isagi can. And he's just outright smarter than him. And we are aware that although Kaiser is great of a physical player and how much innate talent he has, Isagi was capable of outsmarting him to an extreme degree. And if Hugo's just smarter than him, the same thing would just happen. Now, if we're talking about their skills, I still think that Hugo's skills kind of go above Kaiser's. Maybe not his exact individual abilities, because Kaiser is capable of doing impossible plays that can't just be replicated again. But Hugo is capable of delivering passes to somebody extremely fast like Loki or Charles and completely disorienting the Japan team, which have all evolved and have a lot of players with metavision and advanced physical stats, and he just kind of discards them all and just takes them into account and destroys them, right? So I do think for the characters that were in the NEL, it's kind of hard to get them above Hugo, because Hugo's playing at a higher level state of play. And on top of this, he's also performing higher than that ceiling cap, because he's destroying the people on the field that are also playing on that higher state of play. So that's just what I would say for Kaiser in particular. And I want to talk about Sai next, right? And Sai, I wanted to leave Sai a little bit later and not to put him up before Lorenzo or Kaiser, due to the fact that I'm going to be taking even the implications of this story into account, where Sai, one of his most recent things is him being capable of giving the Blue Lockers trouble if he was on the team or if he was playing for Japan. And although I do think that this is a pretty good statement, this is Japan before they even play Nigeria. On top of this fact, I just don't think it's really that much true. I mean, as analytical as I think Ego is, I do think that the manga itself is just trying to push that narrative or story that Itoshi is the prodigy, and he can keep up with the New Japan team. But in my personal opinion, and I'll probably be proven wrong, but I do think you taking all his feats and what he's accomplished so far in the manga, he's not that crazy. Everybody's heard me preach this, talk about this, and a multitude of videos, but I just want to reinforce it with saying I don't exactly think Sai is going to be weak, but as of the moment, he has no actual scaling pre-NEL, and on top of that, these characters get way stronger. Like there's a power creep at the pre-NEL, and there's a power creep at the end of it. So it's just kind of hard to put him on the same level as these players when he does absolutely nothing. And besides being carried by the story's line of reasoning, he really sucks. I'm gonna keep it really, really transparent with you guys. He really sucks. I'm sorry to all the Sai fans. He'll probably be he's probably great later on. But as of the moment, he sucks, and you cannot definitively get him past Hugo or Kaiser or Lorenzo for that matter, because he lacks feats, and the implications of the story are the only thing holding him up, and that can be put into question, which there's not really good evidence to back up why he would be capable of handling anybody on the Japan team at this point, right? So that's just all I wanted. That's just food for thought, honestly. But I do think Hugo clears him as far as that's concerned. But that is really purely just food for thought. I want you guys to think about that. I want anybody that scales Sai high to just think about that real quick. And think, if you could truly argue for him, would it be a argument that wasn't built off of fallacious reasoning or fallacious evidence, right? That's what I just want you to think about. Now, Bunny. Bunny is actually a similar case to Sai, actually. Instead, it's a little bit more recent. Just off the fact that Bunny does play on a higher level than everybody in Blue Lock, including the U20 World Cup teams, as far as we're concerned, since he's playing with real pro players that aren't just labeled to you under 20 players. So I do think the state of play is definitely higher. But this is a rebuttal for this. I also do think that people in Blue Lock and the U20 category can also play at this level with pro players like this. And how I'm reinforcing this idea is I'll actually go to the Neo Egos League, where maybe these masters aren't essentially trying, but like they are coexisting with them on some extent. With Chris Prince, Noah, even somehow Snuffy, Lavinio, and Loki, they're somehow coexisting on this level with these players. And Hugo, I deem to be a lot more superior than everybody in the Neo Egos League and the U20 category, besides somebody like Loki. I think should be deemed higher and can play on that same playing field as well. And then right then and there, it's just purely down to feats and how I would say that Hugo and Bunny compares to each other. And we know Bunny has an insane jumping ability and he can score crazy jumping volley goals. But when it comes to actual scaling, I do think Hugo just has more feats, broader scaling, and it's capable to get him higher than Bunny is, honestly, with better arguments and better evidence for this matter. And then we have Loki. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna be real with you. Hugo's not beating Loki. And you know, I've heard people say Hugo's better than Loki because Loki's not doing much. I don't even necessarily have an argument towards that, besides just like wait until Loki stops playing passive and like actually starts playing and destroys Japan. I mean, like, I don't know if it's some like crazy take, but Loki's gonna destroy Japan. There's a reason why Hugo is being portrayed as so dangerous, because when they finally somehow overcome Hugo, or even if they don't, Loki's just gonna step in and obliterate the infrastructure again, and they're gonna get destroyed. They're going to lose this game. So I do think Loki still is the best in Gen 11, by far probably. I do think Hugo has the potential to surpass him due to his own goal and ego. But besides that, that's pretty much the rankings, honestly. And that's pretty much the video. I mean, I really hope you guys will enjoy this one, because, I mean, I tried to not go in too depth, but I also want to give you guys a gist of the scaling and my reasoning. Again, I'm very open to any comments, of criticisms, or arguments, or agreements. I really don't mind. I can respond to most of them. And honestly, man, I'm really appreciative for the recent love you guys have shown me. Like, it really just warmed my heart, truthfully. And I thank everyone that subbed to me recently and commented under that recent Hugo video and liked it. It means so much to me, so much. I can't even express it. But I hope you guys have a great day, whatever you're doing, wherever you're watching this, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.